Hello, lovely people. How are you doing today? It's Banter Blitz again with me. I hope you have been missing me. I was away for 3 weeks, I believe. My last Banter Blitz was infamous on YouTube. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Let me know in the comments if it's on YouTube or in the chat on Chess24. I promise that I'll be back as usual, and my usual self is being nice. So today, Anna is back, my real self is back. Whether you like it or not, this is how I am. Let's go to the Chess24 play zone. That's where you shall challenge me for a Banter Blitz. So if you don't know where it is, let me show you. We go to Chess24. Oh, there I am again. Jeez. Chess24.com. And then you click on play. And in the lobby you can find me, or simply by going to the video, and under the video you see my name. You just need to challenge me for a 5-minute blitz game. I want to stop this, please. So 5-minute blitz game, rated because I'm brave. And you should be a premium member because there are so many of you that want to play. We give priority to premium members. Let's see my challenges. And ooh, what a moment I stopped this video. Looking horrible. Let's go for the challenges. I guess a board would look better than my frozen face. So, as usual, I want to mix it up a little bit. 5-minute blitz. Please challenge me, premium members. And I try to pick people that I haven't played against. I can't remember all the usernames that I faced already, but I'm aiming to go for new ones. Let me just make sure that you can see the board correctly. I'm checking the chat here. Hi everybody. Hi Let Me Win. Hi Oliver. Hi Giovanni. Hi Artur. Hi Mora. Hi Simba. Hi to everybody. Hi Brave Sir Robin. You guys are awesome. You always come back to my shows. Hi Kramnik Student. I know all of you. I remember all of you. That is so cool that you are here every time I stream. I really, really appreciate your loyalty. You are great fans. And if you are a new member of our community here, just make sure that you come back each and every Thursday. This is a Miss Strategy, Miss Tactics Day. Sopiko will be back soon, but she is now in Georgia with her family, so she couldn't stream. Enough of talking. I was going to check if you see the board correctly, and I think you don't. So let me fix this because you want to see the full board, right? Let me see if I can fix it. Sorry, Trikanti, for not starting the game. I just want to make sure that it's seen. And now I think it is alright. I'm with the white pieces, that's great. E4, that's my go-to opening. I love playing E4. The Sicilian, I usually go for knight F3 and open variations. D6, don't you tell me that you have studied Sopiko's video series on the Najdorf. Oh my, but okay. I'm not worried about it. Actually, I like playing these positions with white. Oh, the dragon! So you play the dragon. Well, against the dragon, I like various setups. I like the main variation, and I also like playing without bishop c4. So you normally either place bishop c4 and then the main line, or bishop e3, queen d2, castle, and f3. You should also, of course, play without placing the bishop on c4. The big difference is that in this variation, you allow black to push d5. That is what's going to happen. He will play d5 here. This is the main line. And now, of course, white has more choice, but basically, you will want to take this pawn and you will want to take this guy as well. And we reach a position that is more positional than the main variation of the dragon. Now, bishop d4. Because I want to get rid of that fianchetto bishop, and in this way you also protect your knight. After e5, he is chasing away my bishop, but at the same time he closed the diagonal of his bishop. Bishop e6 is an exchange sacrifice. I'm aware of this position. You can accept it if you are greedy, but that will give the pair of bishops to black and he will want to be attacking your king. Another option is not accepting that exchange, playing something like knight e4, and later on you want to push c4, trade queens on the d file if black allows you. And I think he is doing that. c4, now he will have to remove the knight from d5. I can take on d8, and we will play an endgame where your king is safer than with queens on the board. Oh, counterattack, f5. I was not expecting that because I'm going to take 2 pieces. C takes d5. If he takes my knight, I will take on e6. So I'm not sure that he did the right thing. Maybe after c takes d5, he wants to take back on d5, open the c file. In any case, I don't believe that this sacrifice is working for black. So I think that he had to move the knight and accept that we were going to play an endgame. What do you guys think? Let me know. I'm checking the chat at the same time. So I'm using this tablet to see what you guys are saying. And yeah, if he's not responding at the moment, I will see what you guys are saying about the game. Experiment saying is that he is out-rating me. Oh wow, what's your rating? Yeah, I was expecting c takes d5, so I'm a piece up, but I still need to be careful because any heavy piece going to the c5 will pin my bishop. I think this is the moment when I will accept the rook, so I will take this guy. In that way, I'm not having this problem of my bishop hanging on c5 after rook or queen coming to c8, and I'm a rook up. So normally this should be an easy win, but you still need to be precise because this king is out in the open. Where to move the knight? Knight g5, bishop h6, knight to c3, then d4. This isn't as easy as you hope, but I will still play this, and then probably knight b5 if he plays d4. So all you need to do in this position is to make sure that you don't get mated. Black has some compensation for the material, but I don't think that it's enough for a rook. On the other hand, my bishop and my rook are still undeveloped. You need to get these pieces into the game. Until I don't develop these pieces, black has chances. So I need to take care of my king and at the same time try to develop as quickly as possible. I believe that he will play d4. Another option could be something like queen to c5, threatening d4. Oh, actually, we were both missing. Oh, we were both missing that he had bishop h6 in this position. Oh my, I had to go to g5 with the knight. I forgot that with the queen on f8, bishop h6 is possible. And f4, bishop takes f4, I would have lost the queen. I would have had the bishop and the rook for the queen, but still, that would have been really unpleasant. Really, really unpleasant. I'm getting out of the pin on the c file. No more bishop h6, but still, just to make sure, both the c file and this diagonal was annoying. Yeah, actually I forgot that the moment I took the rook, I allowed my opponent to place the bishop on h6. That's a motive that I had in mind moves before, but without the queen on f8, it was not possible. Okay, he's threatening to take here because there's a pin on the b file. You should deal with that, and in this case, you is me. Anna, go for it. Don't get mated. Knight b5, he will take, I believe, or a6. Anyway, I will play knight b5. And if a6, I play knight d4. I want to build a blockade. Cut this bishop off, because that is a very dangerous piece. So yeah, I believe that black had to play bishop a6 in that moment where he should have won my queen. And rook and a minor piece for the queen is normally not enough. He also has a pawn. So that would have been probably a winning position for black. I will check it once the game is over because I don't have much time. So I should really speed up. I'm speaking a lot. Rook b4 threatening my knight. Yeah, and if I take on e6, he wants to take on b2. But I think I'm going to take too much material. He will have probably knight b3. Okay, knight b3 I should do instead. Because if knight takes, he would have taken on b2. I was thinking, oh no, but he didn't have time for it because the queen was hanging too. Okay, I'm still asleep. I should have taken on e2, and if rook takes, you take with the queen. The black queen was also hanging. Okay, now I still can't develop, but I have this tricky move. I take on a6, the rook will be hanging if he takes my bishop. So at least this way I not only take this pawn, but I am developing a piece. He will have 2 bishops and I have 2 rooks. That's good, but I should still be careful trying to activate my pieces. But with a pair of bishops, he's still got good chances. You need to bring the rooks to the open files. Rook c1, rook c7. This rook, if the h rook could jump over my d1 rook, I would love that. But I can't. I can't do that. Queen e2, rook d2, and then I will bring the other rook, but I should be careful about bishop h6 still. I almost blundered it. I mean, I blundered it once. I can blunder it twice. Yeah, this game, it's funny how a lot of material is not very good until your opponent has active pieces and you are not developed. So that you should definitely learn from this game, because it doesn't matter that I had at a point, I had a full rook up, but with such active pieces that black had and my undeveloped pieces were not collaborating. So you need, what is he doing? Why does he want to trade queens? This I don't get. He's believing in the passed pawns, but I think with the queens on the board, he probably had better chances. So yeah, now I don't really know why he did that. He wants to push d4 and go forward with those passed pawns, but anyway, I think I'm okay because I also have a passed pawn. What I don't have is time. Ooh, now bishop b4 is a very strong move. He didn't do that. Good. Bishop b4 and then e2 was a big threat. He should have done that, I believe. Now it's not the same because the d7 bishop is hanging, and if he moves it, then he will be pinned. I'm going to promote this guy. Bishop d6 is the only move, but I still promote, so this is winning already. He should have played bishop b4 before, I think, but with the b pawn, my position was anyway winning. I think that. But it was a very exciting game. What do you guys think? Did you enjoy it? First of all, this opening is very interesting. So if you like aggressive positions, the dragon, you should definitely test. You might like it. This is a position of playing against the dragon. But the exchange sacrifice is very interesting. I'm aware of this. And here, c4, f5, I still don't believe that this was actually an objectively good sacrifice, but in a blitz game, why not? After I captured an f8, in this moment, I can't play knight c3 because of bishop h6. I had to play knight g5. This is the move I didn't want to play because of bishop h6, but this is still much better, protecting the knight on g5, than blundering bishop h6. So this is what I should have played. And here I have a rook up, and this position has to be winning. What I did in the game, knight c3, bishop h6 here, Trikanti, if you had played bishop h6 here, then I think you would have won. Because I have to give up my queen for a bishop and a rook. That's what I'm gonna have. So let's say, I don't know, a developing move. But this position is horrible because, yes, I have some material, but you also have this very strong center. You can chase away my knight, bring the queen, take on a2. This position is completely winning. So I was lost if you had seen that knight c3 was a blunder. I forgot that when I take on f8, the queen will be placed on f8. So yeah, I was telling you knight g5, bishop h6 I don't like, but sometimes you need to pick the least bad choice, which was this. And actually this is not a bad choice. With the knight on g5, I'm blocking the h6 bishop, and this is a winning position for white. Even after that, it was super exciting. With the 2 bishops, well, maybe, yeah, of course here, what I was saying is that I should have taken this. If rook takes, you can take with the queen, and black has no time to capture the queen because his queen is also hanging. My concern was if there was some possibility of bishop takes b2, but this was just a ghost. I mean, how can this work? You will take the queen. So this was a winning position for me. It could have been immediately winning if I had taken on e6. I saw ghost. I thought that we will have to trade on b2. I mean, No, this position is not possible because I should have taken the queen already. So I was worried that black would achieve a position where it's perpetual check. This was my worry. But as you see, sometimes what we think is a ghost. In this position, it was perfectly fine to take on a6. Anyway, I think it was very exciting, even with the two bishops. I'm not sure why you wanted to trade queens. But still, I thought, even the endgame, of course it should be winning for white, but here, I was thinking, bishop b4. So when I play b7, you go e2. And you are also about to promote. But it's not working because I will just move my rook somewhere. I can hide it on h1. And I will give up my rook, and you cannot protect the b8 square. So this was winning no matter what, even after bishop f4, bishop b4. Sorry, I was suggesting this move, but it was losing already. I don't think you should have gone for this endgame. I think with queens on the board, you had more chance, even when you have two bishops for the two rooks. This could be dangerous, for instance, if you manage to push these pawns in the right moment, d4, and then my king is still not that safe. Objectively, this should be lost for black, but you have practical chances, especially since I think I had a minute by this time on the clock. Let's go for a new challenge. I think this was a very exciting starting game. I was still asleep and I blundered bishop h6. So in the next game, I hope to improve that. Let's go for another challenge, 5-minute blitz. This time I'm playing against Dr. Baloo. Oh, I like all sorts of cartoons, Disney, yeah. I guess you could imagine that. I'm already old enough to not watch cartoons, but I still like all sorts of cartoons, especially comedy type ones like Family Guy. I was just looking if my opponent is going to make a move. Dr. Baloo, are you here? Dr. Baloo from Germany. Yes, he's here and he plays e4, so I can play the French defense. Anna is happy. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Okay, I should also make moves. Alright, knight c3, this is the main variation. I like the bishop b4 variation, but lately I stick to knight f6 more. It leads to more complicated positions, I believe. f4 and c5. So this is all about the control of the center. White has more space in the French, in most of the lines, and you want to challenge white's center by playing c5, knight c6, and in many variations you will also push f6. You are fighting for the center. You want to challenge these pawns. If you don't challenge those pawns, you are just simply worse because you lack space. Knight e2. This is not the usual way of playing. He wants to play c3 next move, but is this? I'm thinking whether I had a game like this, but that must have been long ago. Alright, I either take on d4 or I play f6. I like f6 more. Whenever I can, I like to play f6. So you basically want to explode the center. You want to force white take some of these pawns. Now this was his idea, so probably I should have taken first, but then the e6 pawn would have been hanging after knight e to d4. How is this position? Okay, I'm gonna take this, give a check. I think he wants to play with bishop d2. If he goes king f2 after castling, he has to deal with the f file. I'm expecting pawn capture. That's why I'm placing the bishop on b4. That's logical. White wants to keep this pawn chain. Bishop d2 is a logical move because in the French, as white, you want to keep the light squared bishop. And you want me to have the light square bishop on the board too, because this is my bad bishop. Knight c3 instead of bishop d2. Interesting. I will... How shall I do this? I was going to say I castle bishop d3. Now, this shouldn't be that good for white, and I feel like I got tricked. I tricked myself into a not very pleasant position. It's not very pleasant when white has everything protected, and that's what you see right now. So I shall be wise. How can you be wise in this position? Okay, I will castle anyway. I know it's dangerous because after bishop d3, whenever I want to take on e5, there will be knight g5 coming. So normally, what did I miss? Because this variation is not like this. Anyway, bishop d3 is still not the end of the world. With the pawn on f6, I'm still okay holding, but I wish I could at some point take and not have my opponent play knight g5. Also, you need to solve the situation here, so you want to develop the c8 bishop. For that, I think I will make this ugly move. I don't like my position. I think I did something wrong. I forgot something. Happens. And b6 I also don't like. Sincerely, I don't like much the moves I made, the last couple of moves. But that's what I have. This is what I need to deal with. I don't like much this b6 because as soon as I will move the bishop to this diagonal, the e6 pawn will be very weak. I can deal with that in a way that I will at some point push f5, but that's also not the idea. Anyway, stop dreaming, Anna. And no, I will not do that. I mean, I know I'm worse here. I'm pretty sure that this position went wrong for me. And I'm wondering where I messed it up. It's not lost, but I think White's position is superior. Now after queen e2, he's threatening to take and I will be forced to take back with a heavy piece. That is still okay. I can deal with that. And he prevented bishop a6 by placing the queen on e2. So that is smart. I will play a4 because I wanna. Do I? No, I don't wanna. I don't want to do that. I don't like my position. And when I don't like my position, sometimes I'm wondering what went wrong. Something went wrong. Okay. Bishop b5 later on. Do I care about that? I don't like this much, guys. That's what it is. I don't like it. Okay, I think my position is just bad. I will move this back. I want to play knight b4 and bishop a6, but I'm pretty sure that white has something immediate here, either by taking a knight g5 or f5. All these pawns will be in the air. So this position is bad for me. I think I'm lost, to be honest. f5 is an option. E takes f6, knight g5 is another option. And I would be surprised if this position was okay to hold. So if white plays any of those moves, I will be in trouble. If, on the other hand, he doesn't find an immediate way to exploit my position, for instance, if he plays something like bishop d2, then he gives me time to play knight b4, bishop a6, and I might be surviving. But this is a French defense that went very wrong. a3 prevents knight b4, so he didn't find an immediate win, but he is at least preventing my bishop a6. I'm gonna make this very ugly move, but I wanna play bishop a6 before I get mated. Now, this game is very instructive in knowing how not to play the French defense. I don't remember the last time I had such a horrible position from the French defense. Look at my pieces, they are all on the back rank. Knight b8, bishop c8, rook on a8, horrible. So this is how you shall not play. He can play knight b5 and not allow me to trade the bishops, for instance. And yeah, I didn't solve my problems. I'm just trying to hang on and not lose immediately. Why does he trade? He probably has something. No, I think he should have played knight b5, but still, okay, he might think e takes f6, then I go rook f6. Alright, he's giving me chances. I think he should have just played knight b5 and not allow the trade of bishops. Now I'm going to survive. I probably should have played first f5 and closed down everything. Now that I have traded the bishops, I could just keep everything closed. Or not. Shall I go for that or not? Let's see. I don't have much time. Actually, I was thinking... changed my mind. I'm gonna take this because I want to have some counterplay. I don't want the position to be completely closed. And now let's maneuver this guy somewhere. It's not very pleasant that I don't have much squares. Ooh, with 2 knights on the c5, you could lose a piece if white manages to place the queen on c2. Luckily not yet. And I wish at some point I could get to the d pawn, but I can't. I just can't. Knight g5, I'll take that. Queen to the c file, I will have to move one of the knights. Knight c3. Actually, I don't know why I played b5. I mean, it's hanging, but I thought that I will have some composition. Okay, knight b5, I can take on e5 first, and then when he takes on e5, I will take on b5. This is a small tactical motive. Shall I take on f1 first? No, I think this is good. The a5 pawn will be hanging in the end, but also the d4 pawn. So I think this combination was actually good for me. And I should speed up. So you see both the a5 pawn and the d4 pawns. What am I doing? I'm talking about pawns and I blunder a rook. Oh my god, disaster. This is a disaster. What did I do? What was I thinking? This is complete chess blindness. When you focus on those hanging pawns. What was I calculating? Okay, guys, in this position... Oh, geez, I forgot that I wanted to take with the rook. When you calculate this variation and you end up playing the other, this is ridiculous. And it's going to be live on YouTube forever. Oh my, oh my, oh my, look at this. Don't ever do this. In this position, I calculate everything that nothing will be hanging. So I was sure that I'm okay taking on e5 because after knight takes, I take on b5 and everything is protected. The queen is protected, the c7 knight is protected. And I thought, no, this is bad anyway. Guys, I just blundered. Okay, I completely forgot. Yeah, it was bad no matter what. This is hanging too. What was I thinking? Can anyone tell me in the chat what was I thinking? Okay, now I know. I should have taken this first. It doesn't help either. No, this is bad. Anna, your combination was bad because it can be taken with the king or with the queen. Oh, maybe with the queen is even better. And when I take, this is once again hanging. This combination was just completely bad. This is what happens when I want to be Miss Tactics. Stick to my strategy. Sopiko is not here, not helping me, so I make this blunder. It looked pretty, but it didn't work. But I'm still pretty sure it's possible to make it work by taking first here. You know, this is a tactical motive that should work. So I should have taken on b5 first and then on e5. This was the way to go. But the position will be worse anyway. For instance, either queen takes or queen takes d7 first and then bishop a5. So white is better. I think Dr. Balu played very well. I played the opening very badly. This shouldn't be like this. This French defense went completely wrong. I mixed up the variations and this b6 a5 is just a very desperate move. I was outplayed in the opening. Well done, Dr. Balu, because you outplayed me and then I blundered. So here I think I was surviving, but my position is still unpleasant. Of course b5 is a bad move now. In hindsight, I shouldn't have sacrificed that pawn. I could have played something else and then it's still just slightly worse, but it is unpleasant. So well done, Dr. Balu, you played very well. Another challenge. Let's go for a 5-minute blitz. I will try not to blunder because, yeah, it's not so good to blunder. Oliver, hi Oliver. You're also one of my loyal fans, I know that, so I'm happy to play against you with the white pieces. And I go e4. I'll check the chat as well because this was a horrible game. I mean, I was badly outplayed by Dr. Balu. Kudos to Dr. Balu, you played very well. I appreciate the game. I'm trying to scroll down and see. Oh, okay, my move. E5. I'm trying to see the newest comments. Oh, the mug. Yes, it's Sopiko. It's the two of us. It's Sopiko and me. This is a Miss Strategy, Miss Tactics mug that I got as a present from Sopiko. The Petrov. Oh, the Petrov. Well, I used to play the Petrov myself. That's why I'm thinking. Because this is a variation that I play myself with the black pieces. I'll just go knight c3. d4 and knight e5 all are interesting options. The Petrov is interestingly not that popular anymore, and I wonder why. Now we transpose to the 4 knights, and this is going to be a mirror position if black plays bishop b4. Bishop d6 is also possible in this variation. That's an interesting option, by the way. Bishop b4, and we're gonna play this mirror position. Now, d6, he could have castled immediately if he wanted. I wonder if it will make any difference, but no, I don't think so. So these are very solid positions, as you can see. Bishop g4 is an option, of course, if he wants to try to avoid the mirror effect, but no, this is still a mirror. I'll play h3, prevent bishop h4, bishop g4 for good. And yes, this is a very solid position. Normally, players that are very dynamic and aggressive don't like these openings because it looks very boring. It's symmetrical. But actually, it can turn into interesting positions. For instance, now, after bishop g5, black has to deal with this pin somehow. He will either need to take on c3 at some point or play h6, g5. But that is risky. That is risky because sometimes as white you can take on g5, sacrifice a piece in order to keep this pin alive. I'm wondering if we were going to see this. In blitz, of course, g5 you take immediately. That is the most aggressive approach. a6. Okay, that is possible, but that doesn't solve black's issues. I will just move the bishop. And I want to play knight d5. So you want to double the pawns of black. If he allows me to play knight d5, he will be then forced to play g5, and that's looking bad. That's looking very bad. I would suggest that you should either take on c3 or be brave and push g5. None of them happened, so I'm gonna go knight d5, and I love my position. I mean, this is brilliant. The bishop is hanging on b4, and I'm threatening to take on f6 too. He takes my bishop, but that's not a big deal. I will take back because I want to keep the threats alive, the capture on b4 and the capture on f6. I think that this position is already winning for white. And I'm not exaggerating. It's because of the fact that I can take on f6. So I can take either with the knight or with the bishop. Which one do you prefer in this position? I love to have the knight, of course, but that will be chased away later. So maybe this is the rare case when I'm going to go for the knight capture. Let's see. b4 is also an option. Bishop b6. I'm gonna take that and take on d6. Is that the best? Maybe. I think the problem with this position is that you have too many good options as white. You can take with the knight, you can take with the bishop, you can play b4, and you need to figure out which one is the best, the absolute best of all of them. Basically, it will depend on your personal preference, so you can choose what type of position you want to play. Which one do I want to play? Now, I will be true to myself. I love the knights. So I'm gonna take with the bishop and play knight h4 afterwards. I wanna build an outpost on f5. I think knight h4 and now f5 is probably a must-play move for black. If not, I will play queen h5, knight f5. Okay, if he's playing c6, then this knight is coming to f5. So this is what I wanted. This is a beautiful outpost for my knight. Now this is the way I play. That's my strategy. And I don't sacrifice like in the previous game and miscalculate. That is the cup of tea of Miss Tactics, going for those positions. I could allow this capture. I could take on d6, for instance, but I want to build this. outpost, so I'm not allowing. I prefer to have this knight on f5 than to have a pawn up. This is a monster. I'm threatening mate in 2. I think he will have to take, but the problem is that this knight is now there forever. This bishop can never challenge my knight, and the king is getting mated. So this position is lost. That's why I was saying that after knight d5 white was winning, because with this horrible pawn structure in front of your king, you can never survive. Now it's mate in 2. Then I will go through the game, move by move, so that we can see where it went wrong in the opening. As you saw, it started out... Thank you, Oliver. It started out as a mirror position, so it's not supposed to be dangerous. This is the 4 knights variation with bishop b5, bishop b4, completely symmetrical. Black can play d6 or castle. Here castle is the same basically. Here you can play h6, and then it will be just a completely mirror position, and then you avoid bishop g5. But even allowing bishop g5 is not the end of the world, actually. So you can let me play bishop g5, and then h6, bishop h4. I was talking about this move, but it's usually risky, especially in blitz, because I was very tempted to take this, even if it's not winning. I'm threatening knight d5, but you can eliminate this knight. So white sacrifices a piece for 2 pawns. Next move could be queen f3, but this is probably not a good sacrifice. Objectively, it might not be good because king g7, and then you want to get out of the pin. You want to place your queen on e8, e6, sort of. Move the rook to h8 if necessary. In blitz, I think this is okay to play. In a real game, you should think twice whether you want to sacrifice. After g5, the other option is moving the bishop, and that means that black has weakened his pawn structure, but it's not so easy to attack it with the bishop on g3. It's misplaced here. Now what happened in the game was also not a disaster if you had taken on c3, so you must get rid of this knight. You cannot let me play knight d5 with the bishop pinning the knight. And here, even though I'm still having this pin, there's no knight that could jump to d5, and I can't put more pressure on this piece at the moment. Probably in the future I would try to move away the knight, place the queen on f3, but then you will play g5, and I cannot sacrifice. So this would have been a completely different story, taking on c3 first. I think knight a5 was the losing move, because allowing knight d5 cannot be any good. And you don't have g5 anymore, because also this piece is hanging. So here I believe that white's position is winning already. But as I said, if you had taken first and then you play for knight a5, that is of course a very, very different story. This you should have taken first, then knight a5. What was your plan? You're trying to take my bishop, and if bishop d5, you can play c6. So this is, I believe, an equal position, or slightly better for white, but not the end of the world. Next time you play the 4 knights, go for this. Make sure that you take the c3 knight before it jumps to d5, and then you prevent all sorts of danger. Let's go for one more game, or 2 more. Oh, this is still early. I thought that we have been here for a while already, but I think we have time for at least 2 more games, if not 3. Who else is here? 5-minute blitz games. I'm trying to look for new users, players that I haven't faced yet. So I see Jacko is here, I see Simba is here, I see Kramnik student. I think I clicked on one, Albano. And I'm with the white pieces again. Thank you, Chess24. E4. Yeah, they saw that I was not in my best today. I spent the whole day working on another project, which is my secret project. Some of you who follow me on social media and join me for my hangouts, what is it with today? Everybody wants to play the dragon. Albano as well. Nice to meet you. I'm gonna play the same line. I wonder if he will... I think he will go for the same exchange sacrifice. Will he? Ah, this is fun. He probably wants to play that. Okay, let's switch. Let's switch openings. I mean the variation with bishop c4. So I was going to say that those of you who follow me on social media and my hangouts, my live hangouts on Facebook, you know that I'm working on a secret project. I've been working on this project for the last couple of months already. And those of you who wanted to train with me. I get many messages whether I could give private lessons. I have a very busy schedule, so I don't give private lessons, but my secret project is going to help you improve your chess. So in a way, you are going to become my pupil if that's what you wish. And the announcement will be up soon on my social media. So if you are curious about h4, g4 and king b1 are the moves in this position. So I was wondering which one shall I play. Sorry that I didn't talk too much about this variation. This is the main variation of the dragon. So if you want to know more about this project that I've been working on and where you can become my pupil and learn from me, join my social media circles because it will be announced in the next few weeks. And I was going to say next month, but no, it's coming up in the next few weeks. It's already here, my project, and I'm very happy about it. So I hope that you will like it too. It's been so much work, so much effort put into this project, and I really want to help you improve your chess. So I put together something that is much more than a stream and much more than one video. It's gonna be a whole method. You will see a whole training program. All right, I've been talking a lot, but not paying attention to the position that much, h4. So in the dragon, you see that black is attacking on the queen side, white is attacking on the king side. This is opposite side castling, typical situation. Both players trying to kill the opponent's king. Who arrives first will win the game. That's usually the story. b5 is a move here, and after b3, the rook will have to move, and then you can take the pawn on b5. That is what I remember of this variation. I'm threatening h5. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. After b3, now when the rook moves, I will take the pawn on b5. This is an interesting variation, but I think this is better for white. Of course, b3 is a weakening move. I'm weakening this diagonal, but it is for the purpose of taking this pawn. Now, don't ask me why I couldn't take it immediately. Of course, there's lots of theory, but the main point is that you should play this first and then take the pawn on b5. That's the most precise. If the rook goes to c5, ooh, what is this? Everybody wants to sacrifice an exchange against me today. Everybody is very inspired to sacrifice and go for my king. So yes, my king is weaker. The b file is open, but I have an exchange up. The way that black could try to attack it is, of course, to place heavy pieces on the b5, force me into this long diagonal where he's got his bishop, but I think, objectively, there shouldn't be any problem. In practice, this is a blitz game, and I have to be careful. I should be extremely careful. I'm gonna go knight b3 first. Do I want? No, knight b3 is a blunder. Knight takes e4. What am I doing? Why I want to blunder everything today? You know what? I believe the safest is to place the king on c1. I think he will... Ooh, what am I doing with the windows? He will play rook c8 and take on c4, so he will have a pawn. He will take this pawn back, because now we are doing... I'm a pawn up, but this pawn will not survive for long. He can play rook c8 and take on c4, but at least if he does that, I will trade queens and my king will be much happier without queens on the board. Of course, I should also aim to go for my attack on the king side, but I don't have many attacking pieces, only the rook on h1. Without the knight on c3, I don't have knight d5, so my attacking chances after the exchange sacrifice are, of course, lower. I should be just aiming for a better endgame with an exchange up. I wonder what is Albano considering here. Rook b8, rook c8. Yeah, those are the main options. You can't really do anything about the minor pieces in this position. I think that in the Sicilian, many times the exchange sacrifice might not be objectively the best move, but it's certainly very interesting practically. d5, okay, that is a very good move that I missed because of the pin on the c5. If I take, knight takes d5, and the position is opening up and my king will be poor, so I shouldn't do that. I should play c5 and hang on to this pawn, but now he will take on e4. And in that moment, how shall I react? If I take back, knight takes, at least I'm opening the position for the rooks. that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to lose that pawn, but the position is opening up and I have an extra rook. I have an exchange up, so I should be going for something. A position like this where my rooks are playing. It is still, of course, very dangerous. Now queen a5, I think, is a very tempting move for black. What do I do after queen a5? I might get into trouble. I might. c3, he will take. He doesn't do that. I wonder why. Now I will play knight b3 and cover these squares. I think queen a5 was very interesting in that position. Albano, I will ask you later if you wanted to play queen a5. I thought that was a very good chance for black. Now after e5, you chased away my knight, but you did close the diagonal of your bishop, so I don't think it was a good move. Because how will you attack me now? Knight g3, I still don't get it. Okay, I think he wants to push e4, and then once again this diagonal will be open, but what was the point of doing this way? I don't really know why he did it this way. I'm gonna go queen a6. I wanna place the queen as active as possible, because that means that I'm taking critical squares away from his queen, the a5 square, the b7 square. In the future I can play queen d6, or I can push my pawn to c6, queen b7. This is already a very pleasant position for me because I have managed to develop my pieces. The rook on h1 was not doing much, now it's on e1. And also, thanks to the e5 push, I have better king, a safer king. He wants to take my bishop, and that is something that I surely don't want to allow. I don't want to let him take this bishop, because that would give him the chance of playing bishop h6. Winning back the exchange, no, I don't want to. I prefer to give up this pawn. He doesn't take it. Why bishop d5? I'm wondering. I will play bishop a5. Now the bishop is hanging and the queen is hanging. But if you have to exchange queens, then this is bad. I mean, I'm an exchange up. I really don't know why he played this way. Okay, maybe I'm overestimating. Bishop takes g2 and knight takes h4. So there are some pawns hanging, but still I have this beautiful passed pawn. Let's chase away this knight first, and then I will play rook d7. So I'm not worried about giving up these pawns if I can push the c pawn. This passed pawn will win the game. Oh, he resigned. Thank you, Albano. I think this was very exciting again. All these exchange sacrifices today, spicing up the position. Normally nobody plays the dragon against me, and today I had 2 dragons already. Are you Game of Thrones fans, or what's going on here? That was a lame joke, wasn't it? I actually told you in the last hangout, one of the latest hangouts, that I don't watch Game of Thrones. And then I started watching it because my boyfriend watches it, and I started watching it with him, and now I'm hooked. I just can't wait for the next episode to be out, and I have to wait a year and a half. I mean, all of us who want to see the next season are just desperately waiting for it to be filmed and then to be out. So this is the main variation of the dragon. Let's just focus on chess, right? After knight e5, you have the possibility of either going h4 or g4 or king b1, the move I played. And here, after h4, once again, this is all about attacking, and b5 is the most aggressive move. After b3, if the rook goes back, I will take on b5. So I win a pawn, but the position is still not completely safe, of course, after weakening this diagonal. Even if you win a pawn, then it's still not ideal, the position, of course. Now, if you take like this, e5, the knights are hanging, so you have to take like this, and this is still a game, but a different story. On the other hand, the exchange sacrifice, I believe objectively, is not the best move, but in a practical game, as I was saying, this is very exciting. So I do like that you guys are so brave and you go for these inspired exchange sacrifices. I think king c1 is okay because the king is safer on c1. You certainly do not want to play king a1. That's what you shall never do. Like, there could be trouble after d5. I believe that this position might collapse. With the bishop here, your queen and the king on the same diagonal, no. That's how you can lose this position. King c1 is the safe option. d5, c5, and after taking on e4, I think that this was still exciting because, yeah. Oh, here is the moment. Queen a5. Why not queen a5? Albano. Queen a3 is a big threat, and I could get mated after rook b8. So, if knight b3, queen a3, I'm still getting mated. This was still very confusing. Probably I have to do something like c3, but how does it look? I mean, you will, in worst case, take that pawn with the knight, threaten this guy. If check, then I will play king c2 and rook b1, but probably what you can also do is to play rook b8 first. Now you are threatening queen a3 and rook b2. Like, what is it? Probably I would have lost this position because I'm really not sure what's the best defense here after queen a5. What do you guys think? What shall I do here? Oh, okay, maybe rook d3 is the best, so I prevent queen a3. Probably this is still okay. But I still think that e5 was helping me. You closed the diagonal of this monster. This is your best piece. You should really play for the fianchetto bishop in the dragon. This is the piece that can win the game. So closing it by playing e5, I think, was something that helped me, not you. Rook d3, I think I'm hanging on. This is still okay, but it could go either way. So certainly this position is more exciting than the one after e5. After e5 there was less danger. Knight b3, preventing queen a5 later. And here I think I'm just winning. So I think that was the critical moment. Instead of e5, I suggest queen a5, and this is really exciting, a very nice position for a blitz game. I'm not sure how correct this has all been, but it's certainly worth to play in a blitz game. Let's see if we can go for one more game. I think we still have time. Cool. Today we are playing more blitz games, I feel like. How many have we played? 4? Let's go for the last challenge of today. I'm happy that this game was a better quality than how it began. So just like other players, I like to warm up, but probably I should have warmed up in a different way, not by blundering in the first 2 games. Okay, I think this is also a new user. Rumburak. Nice to meet you. I don't know where you are from because I don't see your flag. Until Rumburak makes a move, I will check the chat. Okay, that was it. That's all the time I had. You know that normally I go for the Queen's Gambit, but I also like other openings, such as the name. So he's not going for c4, I believe. No, he does. Alright, so now this is going to be the Queen's Indian Defense. Galactic has said international mistake. Yeah, that's a new title for me today. I like it. International mistake. Cool. Oh, Cree is asking who is the lucky guy. Well, those of you who follow me on social media have definitely met Joaquin already, so this is not anything new. You have seen him already, and yeah, follow me on social media if you want to know more about my private life. This is a very solid setup that I'm playing right now. You see that I'm not going any further than the 6th rank. It's too dangerous out there. Later on, I will want to place the knight on e4 and push f5. So in that way, I'm expanding a little bit the horizon. You can also play c5, but then white will go d5. I was wondering... No, I will go d5 first. Because if I had played knight e4, white could take and then chase away this... Please. What am I saying? This is an equal position, but it can turn into a very exciting position in just a few moves. So my idea after d5 is to bring this knight quickly and then play knight e4. This is what I was aiming for. That's why I didn't play it first, because I want to take back with the pawn on e4, or if he doesn't take now, I will later support this knight with the other jumping to f6. Still not hanging, so you can decide whether you want to go knight f6 or c5 is another option. I wonder which one is going to be better. Let's go for this. f5. Like a stone wall. Do I want to play that? Why not? This is a blitz game. I usually don't play these moves because I don't like to weaken my pawn structure. But it's a blitz game, so I'm going for it. What I mean by weakening my pawn structure is this square where he jumped. But you normally don't want to jump there with the knight. Just like this. I would have waited as white until my knight left and then you play knight e5. This way there's a pawn on e5, so my structure is not weak anymore. Okay, how can I deal with this? I'm wondering how can I make this position more exciting, because I don't want it to be a boring position. No boring chess today, right? Nobody wants to see that. It's gonna be boring, but I'll take first, then I move the queen. Yeah, it's kinda boring. Apologies that I couldn't spice up this position much. I'm gonna move the queen out of the d5, trying to bring it to the king side. I could have waited with the capture on c3, I believe. How can I trick my opponent? Queen g6, that's a tricky move. This is a blitz move. You're threatening to take on c4 because the g2 pawn would be hanging. Bishop f3 is of course the cure to all this. And now what? You see, that was a one move threat and I don't have any more threats. Let's bring this rook here, protect the guy on d5. Yeah, this is kind of boring. And I probably should have taken on c4 first and then play queen g6. That would have made more sense. Yeah, now with this pin on the h1a8 diagonal, I don't like that much my position. Before I had more dynamic factors, like I could have taken on c4 and then played queen g6. I think that was the best chance. Anyway, the position was equal, so I'm trying to do something in a position that is just lame. I can play rook d7 and double rooks on the d5. Where is he going? Bishop h5. Not a problem. Does he want to take and then bring the queen to b5? Not sure about this queen e2. Of course it's not a bad move, but I really wonder what is his plan. What do you want? Oh, well, you could have doubled also with the queen on c2. But anyway, my opponent prefers this. Maybe it's better actually, because once we will double rooks, this guy will be in the air in the future. I can't take it. If d4, I'm gonna lose a pawn. This is unpleasant. This is an unpleasant position for me, even though it's nothing concrete. It's unpleasant. So how can I get out of all this? I'll bring back this queen. It's looking ugly, but what can I do? Sometimes you have to make ugly moves. I don't like my position. Have I said that already today? A couple of times. So I placed this queen here in order to trade some pieces here. It's not gonna be any good for me, but what can I do? Shall I be more patient? Move this bishop. Let's be patient. Even though I don't like my position, let's be patient. And I don't have time on the clock. Bishop g7 could be the next move. But I think that white will be able to put more pressure on this pawn. The question is how. If the ideal thing would be to have the queen attacking the d5 pawn as well. Luckily for me, it's not so easy. So to triple heavy pieces on the d file, in that case, I will take on c4 in the right moment, like rook d3. I can take perhaps immediately, but I should be careful about not blundering some piece. Actually, when I take, rook takes, he doesn't want to do that. Okay, I'm gonna play bishop g7. This is just a closed, boring position. But the problem is that it is in white's hands to do something. I can just wait and not do anything, but that's not very nice. It's not pleasant to not do anything. So how can I be active? How can I do something in this position? I could take, but then I'm gonna blunder. I'm gonna blunder the pieces here. Let's just be patient and let's see what white wants. I don't like when I don't have an active plan. You can see that. Yeah, he's just improving his position. I'm gonna play king f7 and see what does he want. What do you want? It will be very sad if I have to be playing king f7, king g8, right? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, but at the same time, I don't want to be the one who opens the position. Okay, he's going for something. Now, this is the moment where it becomes exciting because he's going for active play. Now I should do something. What shall that be? Let's take this guy. I hope this is the right moment to take it. If he takes on b7, I'm gonna trade rooks first and then take the bishop. So this can go either very nicely or it can go very bad for me. I think it's not bad, but today I have made some very dubious moves. Okay, we are trading everything. What is his plan? He's taking this as well. I should speed up. If queen takes, I'm gonna go queen f3. If pawn takes, I will play queen e4. I like my position because suddenly my queen is more active. He's taking on f5 first. Tricky. I'm gonna take with this pawn. He wanted to take on c4 with a check. I should speed up. Speed, speed, speed. Oh my, okay, king g8, queen e8, I was worried about. Now I give up this pawn, but my queen will be active. What I should be very worried about is my time. Okay, next move, I'm gonna bring the queen. That is no question. And I should be better in this game because my pieces are more active. My queen is super active. I'm taking this pawn. So yeah, the problem is the time situation. But he's also running low on time. Why is he doing that? I want to push the a pawn. That's all I want to do. He's very slow. I had less time on the clock. Ooh! Ooh, careful. I almost missed queen d8 check. I won on time. This was a very strange game. Here I'm winning already. Oh, no, I'm not winning. Queen d6. King e7 is a mistake. I should go king e8. And then if queen d6, will he have perpetual? Maybe. Look at this. Or queen f5 first. Yeah, I think objectively this should still be a draw because my king is vulnerable. So all these positions, I think it was in one way or another a draw. That would have been the fair result in this game, or a victory for white because white has a better position here. This is a sadly passive position for black. I was holding on, so I don't think that I'm lost, but it's unpleasant. Look at this. I mean, look at this position. I cannot do anything active. I'm just holding on. I'm waiting for white to take this pawn and then we trade pieces on d5. Maybe, which was the right moment to take? I'm not sure. But the way it went, I think g4 was too much here. Because now, I was waiting for this moment when white starts doing something. So he's weakening his own king by pushing g4. And then when I take on c4 and the position opens up, it will be his king that's almost weaker than mine. You see that here, for instance, if he takes on c4, which is the natural move, I'm gonna go queen f3, and suddenly it's me who is attacking. That's why I was waiting for the moment to open the position. But if I didn't do anything, then what shall I do if you don't push g4? I mean, even something like, I don't know, slowly trying to improve here, h3, g4, king g2. At some point, I'm sure I would have taken on c4, but that's not the same because you didn't really weaken your king. Okay, king g2, no, because in the end, after the trade, there will be checks. This position is still... I think you played very well, Rumburak, because you actually achieved a very pleasant position in an opening that is boring. I mean, I'm sorry to call it boring, but this was really boring. Here, I think the other option was for me to trade first and then play queen g6. But even this is not a big deal. You can play bishop f1 and where's black's attack? No, there's no attack. So there's no serious attack here. And maybe knight c3 is then just pointless. I could have waited for you to either trade on e4. Yeah, if I play queen e8, something like this. But all these positions are just so symmetrical and so similar that I wanted to spice it up, but I ended up having a slightly inferior, if not more than slightly inferior position. Well done, Rumburak. It's a pity that you lost in the end by time, because in the last position, even here, I mean, are you winning here if you take? No, it shouldn't be winning, should it? But you are taking all these pawns. No, maybe I was in trouble probably here. Yeah, look at this. I mean, the bishop is hanging on b2, so it shouldn't be that bad, but ooh, look at this, e6. No, I could have been very much in trouble here. Well, king e7 was just bad. I should place the king on e8, and then I think it's gonna be a perpetual after queen d6. But I did not calculate it. I didn't have time. I was happy surviving with 10 seconds on the clock. Thanks everyone for the games today. This has been all for today. I think the first games were the worst, especially the second game. I was outplayed. Well done, Dr. Balu. And well done everybody who played today. I think you were very creative. I like those exchange sacrifices, and I hope that next time I'll be back, that's next Thursday, I will see more of this inspired chess that you played today against me. Have a nice week in the meantime, and make sure that if you are curious about my secret project, how can I improve your chess, then follow my social media. I have a Facebook page, I have Twitter, and I also have Instagram. So find me on some of those platforms, and in a few weeks you will know about what I'm up to, what have I been working on all these months. See you next Thursday.